Hi, good morning, or good evening, or wherever you are. Hello. I have two things that I want to show you. I'm going to speak very briefly at the beginning of class, and then, trust me, we'll move. So I was inspired to dig up this book that I haven't looked at since probably 2005, Wheels of Life, about the chakras. And part of that inspiration was because a dear friend brought me this beautiful, let's say, scroll of the chakras. And you can see from bottom to top here, all 7. And the thing about the chakras, for me, is even if you don't want to, like if the chakras are too esoteric for you or just too out there and weird, everybody can feel the physical embodiment of them. So if you think about your root chakra, first chakra, the base, right? Everybody can feel what it feels like to be grounded, when you feel secure in something. I think a lot of us during this period have felt the complete opposite of that, very not grounded. So whether or not you believe in these energetic wheels or discs, which is basically what the chakras represent, you can feel first chakra. In the same way that it's very easy for me personally to feel third chakra, willpower. Right? You feel in your core, in your center, when you are strong enough to do something, or maybe when you're not so confident to do something. Same way with the heart, right? If you're heartbroken or someone has really hurt you, we naturally want to curl up into a ball and kind of close the heart chakra rather than keeping it open and vulnerable. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the chakras today in class, not very much, more the physical embodiment of them. So I just wanted to, preface what we were doing. Okay, we're going to start on our backs briefly. Don't get excited, we're not going to be there very long. So you'll come down onto your back and you'll bend your knees with the feet flat on the floor. Just take a moment to tune in on your mat and maybe give the body a quick scan. See how you're feeling. What is the quality of the physical body at this moment? Quality of the breath. Perhaps you can just soften a little bit. And already start to feel the connection of the feet, the pelvis, these physical important points related to the first chakra, your root chakra. And then you're going to lift your hips and come onto your heels so the toes will be up. And you'll start taking little walks forward with the heels. I have quite weak hamstrings, so I'm not going to straighten my legs all the way, but you basically want to walk forward and back with the heels, keeping the bum lifted so you feel the backs of the legs, the hamstrings working. Try not to turn the feet out, but it may be a little bit inevitable depending on your natural alignment of the legs. Just a couple more. Okay, and then the next time that you walk the heels back, pause for a moment, lift the hips a little bit higher, and release the back and bottom back down to the floor. On the inhalation, lift your arms overhead so the thumbs will touch the floor behind the mat. Try not to bow your front ribs out, so pull them back down towards the floor. On the inhalation, tip your tailbone forward so you create this little tunnel underneath the lower back. It might be hard to see me on the video, but just think about arching the back, creating more space underneath that lower back, so really going into a lordosis. And then as you exhale, reverse that direction so you scoop the tailbone underneath you, the lower back pushes to the ground, pelvis tips the other way. And again, inhale, create that lower back, so it's almost like a cow spine. And as you exhale, slight cat back, but really push in the lower back, scooping the tailbone. Keep the arms energetically extended. Few more cycles, this very simple tipping and rocking of the pelvis, second chakra area, sacrum, sexual organs. Good, and then the next time that you scoop the tailbone underneath you, I want you to lift the hips. So the arms are still lifted, the hips are lifted, press into your feet. Take another deep breath in all the way. Exhale, empty out all the air out of the mouth. On empty, close your lips. Don't breathe in. Slowly, one vertebra at a time, lower the back onto the floor. Keep the tailbone slightly lifted. Uddiyana Bandha practice. Flare the back ribs a little bit more. And then inhale, release, let the tailbone settle. And exhale, pause. Again, inhale, lift the hips. Breathe in as much air as you can. Exhale, empty out all the air out of the mouth. On empty, let the spine slowly start to descend. Don't breathe in. Flare the back ribs. Keep the tailbone scooping under, so full Uddiyana Bandha practice. Inhale when you need to, let the tailbone settle. Exhale. One more, inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips, big breath in. Exhale, empty out all the air out of the mouth. On empty, slowly start to descend the spine. Don't breathe in, stay empty, flare the back ribs wide. Inhale when you need to, let the tailbone settle. And exhale. Take the hands by the sides of the hips, press your palms into the floor, extend your legs, point the toes for today. Press into the forearms, lift the chest, open the throat slightly, and then just push yourself up to sit. You'll come around to sit on your shin bones in Vajrasana for a moment. Just sit on the heels. Palms can be on the thighs. Give yourself a moment here to ground. Okay, and then keeping the hands on the thighs, inhale, arch the spine, open the chest, cow pose. Exhale, round to cat. Push away from the thighs so you can straighten your arms as much as possible. Again, inhale, let the shoulders move back, chest forward, arch. Exhale, round to cat. One more, inhale again, feel that second chakra kind of just rocking. And exhale. And then inhale, come to neutral. I'm going to separate my feet just a little bit, so I take my legs a little bit wider than I normally would have them in Vajrasana, and it's going to be hard for me to show this and talk at the same time, so just try to follow along. So on the inhalation, you're going to stand up on your shins, reach the arms towards the ceiling, and then the exhalation is a short, sharp exhalation through the nose. You're going to sit back down and pull the fist back. So it looks like this. And you're going to keep doing this on your own timing. So again, short, sharp inhalation and exhalation through the nose. So you're sort of pumping the body. You might feel the thighs starting to bring some energy. definite third chakra, core area, fire. Keep it going. You should feel the heat within the body. A few more. And then the next time that you come to stand, inhale, and then exhale, sit back down on the heels, hands to the thighs, pause for a moment, feel. Inhale, bring the arms out to the sides. Turn your palms up. I'm borrowing this from my teacher, Jillian. Move the palms back in space so you really feel the shoulder blades active on the back, more opening across the heart. And you'll see as I did that, for sure, I collapsed in my front ribs because that's my tendency. Pull the front ribs back in space. Keep the palms turning up, external rotation in the upper arms. And then very slowly, as if you're gathering energy towards one another, bring the hands in towards the center line. Should really feel like there's something in between the hands. You can't see it, but you can feel the energy. Feel the thumbs against the chest, heart chakra, the collarbones broad. One Om together, throat chakra, taking in breath. Move your prayer so that the tips of the thumbs touch right in between the eyebrows. Sixth chakra. Air, ether. And then release your hands. Slide onto your hands and knees, tuck the toes, and press back into downward facing dog. Give yourself a couple breaths here in downward facing dog. You can pedal out the feet a little bit. Bend the knees. Move around and fidget as you like. Okay, and then eventually settle in your downward facing dog. On the inhalation, lift your right leg up to 3-point pose. And for today, have your right toes pointed. Try to straighten the leg as much as you can. And then lift your left heel as high as possible. So you really are standing on the just kind of tippy toes of the left foot, ball of the left foot. Lift the right leg a little bit higher. Then exhale, bend the right knee, step the right foot to the right thumb. Inhale, tap your back knee, open the chest. Exhale, lengthen and fold. 2 more like that. Inhale, tap the back knee, open. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Inhale, tap the back knee, open. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine a tiny bit and then walk yourself into a wide straddle. Make sure the feet are parallel. Align the fingers with the toes. Fold forward, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward bend. Then inhale, bend the knees, get the butt down, come out on the fingertips, look forward, long spine. Exhale, lengthen and fold. 2 more like that. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the pelvis, look forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the pelvis, look forward. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rebend the knees, push the knees out, feel the feet grounding on the floor, very first chakra oriented. Pull the belly and the front ribs in, bring your arms out in front of you, palms face one another, it's like Urdhva Hastasana arms. Keep pulling the front ribs in, bend the knees a little bit more, push the knees further out, And then bring the arms out to shoulder height like airplanes. And then same thing, turn the palms up. Feel the external rotation in the upper arm bones. Pull the thumbs even further back. And then inhale, straighten your arms and legs overhead. As you exhale, right toes will turn out a little bit. Hands come down the center line into Skandasana. Then I like to put my left fingers on the floor, my right hand against my right knee or thigh, and turn and open a little bit. If you're more open in the right heel, it will stay down on the floor. Otherwise, you can have it lifted. A couple more breaths here. Keep stretching through the inner left heel. And then inhale, crawl yourself around into low lunge, frame the front foot, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward in between the hands, bring the arm bones a little bit further forward, externally rotate in the upper arms, and then in one movement, slowly exhale, lower both forearms down to the floor. Inhale, press back, dolphin pose. Stretch the head through the arms. Exhale. 2 more, inhaling. Exhaling, keep pressing through the fingers and the palms. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale, you're going to come into forearm plank, and you'll probably need to walk the feet back to do that. So bring them back, tailbone scoops under, feel the connection of the feet to the floor, lower body super active and grounded. And then on the inhalation, your right hand is going to replace the right elbow. Come onto your left hand. And then walk back down, right forearm to the floor, left forearm to the floor. Right hand where the elbow was, left hand where the elbow was. Right forearm to the floor, left forearm to the floor. One more, hand, hand, and then release the knees to the ground. Prop up on your fingertips, walk them towards the top of the mat, and press back into child's pose. Stretch long through the body. And then inhale on fingertips, rock forward, arch your spine, cow pose. You might be a little bit out of alignment, that's fine. Exhale, round to cat. 2 more, inhale, arch. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, return to neutral. Press the palms back to the floor. Tuck the toes. Press back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up, 3-point pose. Again, point the toes for today. Try to straighten that leg out as much as possible. Lift the right heel high so you're on the tippy top of that right ball of the foot. Lift the left leg a little bit higher. Pull the outer right hip back in space. And then exhale, bend the left knee. Step the left foot to the left thumb. Inhale, tap the back knee, open the chest. Exhale, lengthen and fold. 2 more. Inhale, tap the back knee, open. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Inhale, tap the back knee, open. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Slight lengthening of the spine as you walk yourself around into your wide-legged forward bend. Make sure the feet are parallel, fingers aligned with the toes. Fold forward, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward. And again, think about that first chakra, grounding down, your connection to the floor. Bend the knees deeply, lengthen the spine, come out on the fingertips. Exhale, fold. 2 more. Inhale, bend the knees deeply, pelvis comes down. Exhale, forward fold. 1 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees. Ground through the feet. Push the outer knees to the sides in space. Reach your arms forward. Feel the belly and the front ribs pulling in. Bring your arms out to the side like airplanes. Externally rotate the upper arms. Turn the palms up. Keep pulling the belly and the front ribs in. Knees out to the side a little bit more. Then slowly straighten your arms, straighten your legs overhead. Exhale, turn the left toes out. Hands down to center line, Skandasana. You can put your fingers on the floor, your hand to the thigh. Turn and open as you like. Again, if that left heel could stay down, it would. Not with my ankle mobility. Got one more breath. Crawl yourself around, back into a low lunge. Step back, downward facing dog. On the inhalation, look forward. Bring the arm bones slightly forward. Turn the elbows towards the front of the room. And then in one breath, descend with the forearms down to the floor. Inhale, press back into dolphin. Stretch through the shoulders and the upper arms. Exhale. 2 more. And then you'll come forward into forearm plank, probably by stepping the feet back. Feel the tailbone scoop under, active lower body. And then left hand where the left elbow was, right hand. Left forearm down, right forearm down. Left hand, right hand. Left forearm, right forearm. Left hand, right hand. Release the knees to the mat. Prop up on the fingertips. Press into child's pose. Inhale, come forward onto the hands and knees. Stay on fingertips. Arch the spine. Exhale, round to cat. Inhale, arch the spine, drop the belly. Exhale, round to cat. One more, inhale, arch the spine, drop the belly. Exhale, round to cat. And then inhale, return the spine to neutral, palms to the mat, tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Take a breath to settle here. Another breath to ground. On your inhalation, lift your right leg up, 3-point pose. Again, point through the toes, lift that right leg actively. Look forward, lower your left forearm down to the mat. Take your right hand where your right elbow was. I like to be on fingertips. And then you're going to turn and open the right hip, bend the right knee, and stretch through the right side of the body. Don't collapse onto that left shoulder, so you're still pushing away from the ground. Turn and open the lower body a little bit more. And then flex your right foot. Draw the right knee towards the right shoulder, and then kick the right leg out to the right. You should sort of see the foot and toe in the periphery. Take another breath here. Feel the outer hip rotators working. And then step your right hand forward, straighten the arms, bend the right knee, step the foot between the hands. Tap the back knee once, open the chest. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine a little bit. Walk yourself over to a wide forward bend. Fingers in line with the toes. Release. Now you have a couple breaths here. If you can, get the top of the head to the floor. Squeeze the elbows towards one another. And then I just want you to experiment with lifting the heels so that you start to come onto the toes. Don't take them off the floor. Just feel what has to happen in the core and the belly to do that. And then exhale, release down. Inhale one time to bend the knee, drop the tailbone, open the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, lengthen the spine, pull the belly in and up. Reach the arms forward, Urdhva Hastasana arms. Again, airplane them out to the side. Turn the thumbs up, externally rotate in the upper arms. Inhale, bring the arms overhead, straighten the legs. Exhale, right toes turn forward, warrior two. And then same thing here. I want you to turn the palms up. Look at the arms, straighten them. Look back at that left arm. Bring the arms a little bit further back in space. Chest is open. Bring the arms overhead, turn your gaze to look forward. Sink in that right knee and thigh a little bit more. Yeah, we're gonna be here a little while in this warrior two, so feel the activity through your feet and legs. And then slowly bring the hands down, frame the front foot, low lunge, step back, downward facing dog. Good, inhale, look forward, bring the arm bones slightly forward. Both forearms down to the ground. Inhale, press back into dolphin. Exhale, pause. Inhale, walk your feet back to come into forearm plank. Pause there, scoop the tailbone under. Exhale. Inhale, right hand where the elbow was, left hand, release the knees down to the floor. Inhale, on finger tops, look forward, pull the tailbone back, and then slide yourself along the floor through a backward bend. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale, flatten the palms, come onto your hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up, 3-point pose. Point the toes. And then look forward, lower your right forearm down to the ground. Move your left fingers back where your left elbow was. Bend the left knee, turn and open the hip. You can look to the left side, so you're really spinning the lower body open. Couple of breaths here, don't collapse in that right shoulder. And then draw your left knee towards your shoulder. Flex the foot, kick the left leg out to the left. You can see the toes and heel in your periphery. Keep using those outer hip openers to abduct your leg a little bit higher. And then step your left hand back, straighten the arms, bend the left knee in, step the foot forward, low lunge. Tap the back knee, open the chest. Exhale, lengthen and fold. Lengthen the spine a little bit, look forward, walk yourself into a wide-legged forward bend. Fingers in line with the toes as you fold forward. And then again, if you can get the top of the head to the floor here, do that. And then lift your heels as high as you can, just come in, so put some weight onto the toes so you feel the core back start to activate, and then lower the heels back down. Inhale, bend the knees one time, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees deeply. Feel the belly suction up. Bring the arms forward as if they're in Urdhva Hastasana. Airplane them out to the side. Turn the thumbs up, palms up. Externally rotate the arms. And then inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, turn the left toes forward. Warrior two. Then same thing. Externally rotate the arms, feel the palms up. Look at the arms, make sure the chest is still broad. And then bring the arms overhead, look forward. Sink deeper into that left thigh, push back more through the right leg. You're super grounded, lower chakras firing. And then release the hands down, frame the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Last time this way, look forward. Bring the arm bones slightly forward, externally rotate. Two forearms lower at the same time. Press back, dolphin. And then come forward into your forearm plank. Scoop the tailbone under. Inhale, left hand where the left elbow was. Right hand where the left elbow was. Release the knees to the mat. Prop up on your fingertips. Pull back a little bit, look forward, and then slither yourself along the floor into a deeper backward bend. Press back to child's pose. And then flatten the palms. Move yourself up into downward facing dog. Give yourself the last couple of breaths here. And then very slowly, 1 foot at a time, walk yourself to the top of your mat. Pause for a moment in your forward bend. You can take the backs of your hands to the floor if you like for a gentle wrist stretch. I always like that. And when you're ready, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone 1 vertebra at a time to round up to stand. Head is the last thing to come up. Grab some water if you need it. It's hot in Singapore. I'm sweating as usual. Okay. And then come to Tadasana. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Maybe you close your eyes for a moment. Before we start Surya Namaskar A, just do again a quick scan of the body, see what the quality of that physical sheath is at the moment. And take your hands in front of the heart. On the inhalation, root down into your feet and legs so strongly. Bring the arms overhead, but keep the lower body super grounded. Then exhale, keep pushing into the feet and legs. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale again, feet and legs super grounded. Lengthen the spine. As you exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, and either step back or jump to Chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog or cobra. Feel the legs and feet active. Exhale, downward facing dog. So for this first Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A, I want you to think about the grounding much more in the lower body, so the base chakras. So the practice of this sun salutation this round should be quite grounding and maybe even feel a little bit heavy. About 2 more breaths in your downward facing dog. Bottom of your next breath, look forward, prepare, bend the knees, hop or step the feet between the hands, lengthen the spine, keep grounding into the feet, exhale, fold. And then same thing, make your feet and legs heavy. Bring the arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands down the center line. And then for the second cycle, I want you to completely change the quality. So make it an inhalation into kind of a backward bend, open across the chest, make it a little bit more light and airy. Exhale, fold forward. And then same thing, as you inhale, extend the spine, think about the heart opening, light and airy. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, jump or step back. Inhale, make the backward bend even a little exaggerated for today. Exhale, downward facing dog. See if you can find the lightness in your chest and heart here. Soften in between the eyes. Find the rhythm of your breath. The bottom of your 5th breath, look forward, prepare. Jump or step the feet between the hands, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead, maybe a little bit of an extra backward bend, keep it light. Exhale, hands down the center line. So we're going to do 3 more cycles of Surya Namaskar A, and you'll do them on your own. And I'm going to suggest that you choose one of those options. So either very focused on the grounding and sort of the lower chakras, or much more focused on the lightness, upper chakra area. We did a lot of grounding in the beginning of class, so I'm going to do it a little bit more light, but as you wish. 3 cycles, 5 breaths in downward facing dog on your own. Use this time in Surya Namaskar A to find the personal exploration of your practice. Choose what feels right for you today. Should have about 2 more cycles, maybe 1.5. Take your time. We are going to meet in a standing forward bend for a moment. And in that standing forward bend, you can take whatever arm variation you like. So you could hold one hand to each elbow. You could take the hands behind the back and interlace them to stretch the shoulders. You can stand on the palms to stretch the wrists. I always like that after doing chaturanga. So when you finish your Surya Namaskar A practice, you'll come and join us in the standing forward bend, whatever variation you like. Retune in with your breath. Release whatever variation you have. Heel toe the feet so the big toes are together and the heels are touching. And then simply bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, round up to stand. Shift your weight. Take your right foot up into tree pose, so the right foot will be on the inner left thigh. Take a moment to make sure that your hips are not coming out of whack to do that. The hands can start in front of the heart. Take a moment here to feel the grounding of the left foot, left leg fully secure. So again, lots of first chakra things happening in the base of the pose to make it stable. Pull the belly in and up. And then on the inhalation, extend your arms overhead so that the palms face one another. Find a little bit of lightness in the upper back. Bring the arms out to the side with the palms facing up. Move the palms a little bit further back in space to open across the heart chakra, chest. And then I want you to just take the left hand as if it were coming into prayer. The thumb will sort of just rest against the sternum, middle of the breast. And then bend the right elbow and take Jnana Mudra, so the thumb and index finger are together, palm is facing up, gaze is over the right fingertips. And see if you can find this balance between a very firm rooting down of your left leg, grounding, and an almost ethereal or air-like quality in the upper body. Inhale, turn the head back to neutral, step the right foot down, pause for a moment, feel the joy of 2 feet on the floor. Inhale, bend the knees, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold over the legs. We're going to meet in downward facing dog, so you could take the vinyasa on the way there. You could just step back and wait. From downward facing dog, take your right leg up, lift it high, point the toes. Lift high on the left heel, then exhale, bend the right knee, step the right foot forward, low lunge. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead, high lunge. Pause here for a moment, and then bend your left knee for a moment. Feel the heaviness. You can almost bounce a little bit to feel the rooting down of the legs. And then straighten your left leg as much as you can. Pull through the side body and the waist. And then find a little bit of a backward bend here. Move the arms back in space as if you were going to bring them behind the ears. About one more breath. And then on the exhale, release the hands to frame the front foot. Straighten your front leg and fold. About 3 breaths here in this modified Parshvottanasana. Pull the right hip back in space. Try to create a little bit more length in the spine. Maybe you fold a little bit deeper. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, lengthen your spine. Look forward. Walk yourself into your wide-legged forward bend. Fingers come in line with the toes. Fold forward. And then you can either hold here in the forward bend and again choose an arm variation that you like, or you're going to take the weight onto the top of the head, squeeze the inner elbows in, roll onto the tippy tops of the toes, and then float your way up into a headstand. Be here about 3 breaths, just experiencing being upside down. Point the toes for today so you feel the back line of the body activate. And then the way that you came, re-straddle the legs. Slowly hover down. Try to get the feet slowly coming to the floor. And then inhale, bend your knees 1 time. Realign my feet. Lengthen the spine. And fold. Okay, and then your left arm is going to stretch forward. Your right arm will stretch through the legs. Take a moment here to twist underneath that left armpit. Roll the left side of the ribcage open. And then bend your right knee deeply so you start to feel a stretch maybe through the inner left thigh. Still pushing that right knee to the right. Turn and open your left chest a little bit more. About 1 more cycle of breath. Try to find a little bit more opening. And then slowly walk yourself towards the right. Keep the left foot where it is. Right toes will turn normal. Reach the right fingers forward and come into Ardha Chandrasana. And again, try to find the ethereal quality in the upper back, chest, lightness of the top arm. Legs are still super grounded. And then gently release your left hand down, step back to low lunge, ground the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Bring the arm bones slightly forward, turn the inner elbows forward, and then release the forearms down to the floor. Find dolphin for a moment. Stretch back. Okay, and then you'll stay in dolphin, but look forward. Replace your right elbow with your right hand. Lower the top of the head to the floor, right in between those points, and then walk the feet way in. So the hips are going to come over the head. And maybe this is as far as you come. Otherwise, your right leg is going to lift towards the ceiling. Point the toes, be on the very tippy toes of the left foot, and then maybe you're coming up into this headstand variation. Left forearm down, right elbow is bent. A couple breaths here. Again, keep pointing the toes. And then to come down, your right leg is going to drop, left toes reaching up, so you opposite the splitting of the legs. Gently release both knees and shins on the ground. Press back to child's pose for a moment. And pause. Inhale, bring yourself up onto your hands and knees. Drop the belly, open the chest, cow pose. Exhale, round to cat. 2 more times just to neutralize the body and the spine. And then on your next inhalation, return the spine to neutral. Tuck the toes. Press back, downward facing dog. Bottom of the breath, look forward, prepare, hopper, step the feet between the hands, lengthen, and fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, awkward chair, bend the knees, sit back, arms overhead, and then straighten all the way into mountain pose, Tadasana. Remembering there's a whole other side to do. Take your left foot to your inner right thigh for tree pose. Make sure you even out the hips. Start with the hands in prayer. And take a couple of moments here to first find the grounding of the pose, the steadiness of that right foot and right leg. Push your left foot into your inner right thigh and your right foot into your right thigh into your inner left foot. And slowly bring the arms overhead into Urdhva Hastasana arms. Pull the belly and the front ribs in. Bring the arms out to the sides and turn the palms up. Feel the hands move back in space so you open more across the chest and heart. Take your right hand into prayer. That thumb can rest right against the heart area. Left elbow will bend slightly. Thumb and index finger come together. Turn the gaze over the left fingers. Palm is open. And try to find that ethereal and air-like quality of this variation of tree pose. Inhale, draw the left knee in, step the foot down. Utkatasana, sit back, chair pose. Exhale, fold over the legs. And again, you'll transition back to downward facing dog however you like. Lift your left leg up, 3-point pose. Lift high on the ball of the right foot, scissor the legs apart a little bit more. Then exhale, step the left foot to the left thigh. Inhale, bring the arms up for high lunge. Pause for a moment, bend that back knee, get super heavy in the legs. Maybe you bounce a little bit to feel that heaviness and grounding. And then once that's there, re-straighten the right leg. Activate through the side waistline of the body. Pull up and then start to back bend in your high lunge here. Arms back behind the ears if possible. And then exhale, release the hands down, frame the front foot. Straighten your front leg and fold. 3 breaths here in this Parshvottanasana variation. Hug your outer left hip back in space. As you do that, don't lose the grounding of the left big toe. Out one more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lengthen your spine a little bit. Walk yourself into a wide-legged forward bend. Fingers in line with the toes. And again, you can either take an arm variation here, or you could come back upside down into a headstand once again. Take about 3 more breaths wherever you are. If you did come up to headstand, make sure you try to get those feet softly on the floor, maintaining your straddle. Okay, and then inhale, bend your knees, lengthen the spine, soften the pelvis. Exhale, fold. Take your right arm forward, left hand through the legs. Start to turn and open into your twist. Really turn the right side of the body as much as you can. Bend your left knee deeply. Feel the right inner thigh opening. Turn and twist and open a little bit more. And then crawl yourself towards the top of the mat. Turn the left toes out. The right leg doesn't move at all. Left fingers reach forward for Ardha Chandrasana. Again, try to find the ethereal quality of the pose. So of course you're super grounded in that left leg. The left outer hip is drawing in, but the upper back, chest, arm, nice and light. Release into low lunge. Step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, bring the arm bones forward, turn the inner elbows. Release both forearms down to the floor. Pause for a moment in dolphin, stretch back. Then look forward, replace your left elbow with your left hand. Take the top of the head down on the floor, forearm is still there of the right side. Walk the feet way in. Lift the left leg, point the toes, scissor it in, and then slowly roll off the right toes to come up. Point the toes. When you're ready to come down, the left leg will draw forward, the right leg draws up and back, scissoring the opposite direction. And then eventually release both knees and shins down to the ground. Stretch the arms forward for child's pose. Give yourself a little bit of a rest. And then you'll bring yourself back into downward facing dog. Onto the hands and knees. Arch the spine, look forward, cow pose. Exhale, round to cat. 2 more cycles, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, round.
One more inhale.
And exhale.
Inhale, return the spine to neutral, tuck the toes, move into downward facing dog. Give yourself a breath there. I'm just gonna make sure we're still recording. Okay, and at the bottom of your breath, look forward, hop or step, step. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, send the sit bones back, bring the arms overhead, Utkatasana. Then stand up all the way into Tadasana. Close your eyes. And maybe, and okay, if it's just too loosey-goosey for you, don't worry about it, but maybe you feel the center line of the body. In yoga we call it the Sushumna Nadi, but just for layman's terms, it's the center line. And feel the grounding of first chakra, root chakra, your base. Second chakra, sacral area. Third chakra, belly, abdominal area, your strength. Fourth chakra, the heart. Fifth chakra, throat. Sixth chakra, soften in between the eyes. Seventh chakra, pull up through the top of the head. Everything stacked on top of one another. Grounded to ethereal, heavy to light. Inhale, Utkatasana, sit back. And then bend, 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 bend until you sit down on the floor. And extend the legs forward. Pause for a moment in Dandasana. You have a moment just to, again, very symmetrical, steady alignment like Tadasana. And then we'll straddle out to the side. I'm going to turn towards you. Make sure when you find your straddle, you could also sit up on something, that the knees are pointing towards the ceiling, toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Find a little bit of length through the spine, widen across the chest and heart, and then you'll come forward. Should be fairly well prepped for Upavishta Konasana today, your wide-legged forward bend. Just take a few breaths wherever you are. Slowly bring yourself back up to sit. Take your right hand onto your left thigh, your left fingers behind the pelvis, and take a gentle twist. Try not to change the alignment of the legs as you do that. Then keeping your right hand where it is on the left thigh, slight twist in the body, bring your left arm overhead. Then slowly come into the side bend. I like to reach over and take hold of my right foot. You definitely don't have to do that. And then turn and open the chest so you get this stretching across the side body. Keep weighing that left hip down. Turn and open a little bit more. And then inhale, come back up through neutral. Pause for a moment. Switch sides, left hand to right thigh, right fingers behind the lower back, turn and open. Bring your right arm overhead. Slowly start to side bend. Again, if you want to take hold of the foot, you can. Turn and open the body. Keep that right hip weighing down. Inhale, bring yourself back to neutral. Pause. Bring the legs back together. Maybe you turn them out and in a little bit just to relieve some of that wide angle opening. And then come and bend your knees and lay down on your back. Take a moment here on your back, which is essentially where you started, with the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor. And first, maybe you do a quick scan here to notice if the physical quality of the body has changed since you did that first scan. Then on your inhalation, make sure your feet are still grounded and in a nice neutral position. Take the hands down by the sides of the body and slowly start to lift the hips and tailbone up. Kind of walk the shoulder blades together underneath you, coming into your bridge pose. Keep pressing through the inner feet. So there's going to be a tendency to roll to the outer edge of the foot. Don't let that happen. Press down through the big toe side. Feel the back body active as you open the front body. And then when you're ready, release the arms slowly, one vertebra at a time. Roll down onto your back. And drop the knees a little bit from side to side if you want to release the lower back in between. And then either one more cycle of bridge pose, or if you feel inclined to take a wheel practice, you can. We didn't do a whole lot of back bending today, so could feel nice. And then we'll slowly start to finish up. I'm going to close by bringing my knees into my chest in a nice and parallel alignment today. So I'm not a happy baby. We did so much have that position of the hip that I prefer to have my knees and thighs closer together for now. Maybe a little bit of rocking from side to side. Feel free to take whatever last postures you like. Until eventually you're going to set yourself up for corpse pose. So laying down on the back, release the legs, release the arms. Soften the jaw. Release the muscles around the face. And just for a couple of moments, feel the breath wash across the body with each exhalation.
you can imagine that you've almost separated from your body. So from afar or from above, you might see it laying on the floor, coming into this integration of your physical practice. You might imagine that you see those wheels or those discs of energy running up the center line of the body. You might imagine that they are fully in balance. Like you've done some maintenance to align these gears or wheels or discs right back into place where they should be. I'm going to leave you in Shavasana for as long as you like. Always a pleasure to practice with you virtually. Namaste. Rest well.